Coach Sean Castro here, and what I'm going to share within this video is connection-based selling for fitness professionals. And the biggest reason that I wanted to do this is to not only set you up for success, but because in the past I've used a lot of different things to make sales. And I noticed that the less it's about the connection with the person in front of you and serving them, and the more it is about the sales strategies and mind tricks, this usually leads to frustration and failure when it comes to serving the member and maintaining a good relationship as well as keeping them committed. So what I'm going to share with you in this system is how to connect from your heart. And when you connect from a place of love and connection, generally your clients are going to be much happier and feel much better walking away from your gym for the first time, knowing that they committed. So I'm going to break down my thought process, then walk you through the actual presentation that I use. So when I'm going through my sales presentation, here are the key things looking for. First, we want to build the yes ladder and match a mirror often as possible. So for example, someone comes in the front door and their name is Alice. Hey Alice, or I might, if my admin's with them, and greets them, I would say, Alice, right? They're going to say yes. So, and I'll say something else factual. If it's early in the morning, I'll say, great, good thing it's first in the morning here, right? Or if they're in workout clothes, I might say, looks like you came yet. It looks like you came ready to work out, right? And just say something that gets them to agree that is factual, because the more people agree with you, the more they're going to know, like, and trust you a lot faster. And if you're a good person and you got something of quality to offer, there's nothing unethical about this. It's just making a better impression as fast as possible, but consciously trying to do it versus just hoping it happens. And also, you want to come from a place with your heart, not just your head. We'll talk more as I go through the questions process and the presentation, how we do that. Matching and mirroring, I forgot to mention. This is going to be the way that they are standing, right? So if you go to take a seat and they're leaning in and crossing at their legs at the ankles, I recommend you match that same body position very subtly. If they start to lean back in their chair, that's probably saying that they're disconnecting for you, but that would be the best time for you to disengage a little bit too. Matching and mirroring also comes with the rate of speech. So if they're talking real fast like this, you should probably talk just as fast. If they are talking very slow and maybe monotone with how much passion, you want to match that. Now, what you're going to find is that as you develop rapport with them and bridge a connection with them, you're actually able to lead them. So you go from matching and mirroring them to leading the pace and taking control of the path of the conversation, but also the energy. So you start getting to the workout. That's the beautiful thing about what we do. You start getting to the workout, then you can start getting real energetic like this, and you can start being yourself. You're gonna notice, and you're gonna be able to engage them in that way, and you get what I'm saying, right? So the more, as we're going down, just other thought process, the more uncomfortable you feel asking questions, the more likely you need to ask that question to get an emotional response. For example, if I'm going through my questionnaire and I don't feel like I'm connecting with the person in front of me, and I can feel like they're being very general and service level. If I say, what's your goal? What's important to you? And clearly they want to lose weight. Maybe they express that in the application in advance, and they say, oh, they just want to be healthier. They want to get active. That's bullshit. We both know that. They want to feel better about themselves. They want to be able to play with their kids. They don't want to wake up feeling like a truck hit them in the morning. So when I'll break someone's pattern, if I'm getting bullshit answers, I'll stop and say, Alice, let me ask you an honest question. Are you really even happy? And you're going to throw them so far off guard, because that's a question that they don't want to ask themselves, that needs to be asked. And also, it's the question that the people across the street selling cheap gym memberships and high ticket PT are not going to ask either. They're going to work the price scenario. They're going to pressure the person. And if you can connect and shift that person's thinking, hopefully they'll sign up with you. If they don't, at least they'll walk out of there saying, wow, I can't believe that I had to come to terms with that. The truth, right? It's not a matter of you making them feel bad. If there's something that they're burying down there deep, you need to pull that out, because it's the only way you're going to help them make a change. Or they're going to repeat that same pattern where they lose weight, regain weight, lose weight, regain weight, and their mindset's never going to change, and you're never going to help them. Going off this, we need to future pace. So phrases I used: that imply they will be training with you. Can't you see how training here is going to change your life too? Or another one would be, having a custom program is going to make all the difference for you in your busy life as we help you transform it, isn't it? Or you could say, can't you see how great it's going to be when we're training together? Or I hope you're excited about getting started. Things like that. Say something in the future tense because it's going to slowly and subtly build up in the back of their minds that what you're going to be doing is going to be done together, and they're going to start getting excited. Uh, so, so okay. Here's another thing. Someone will far more likely tell you they eat perfectly at the start of the conversation, but you're going to find that no one eats perfectly. I don't know anyone, not even myself, right? I still don't eat perfect a lot of the times. But if you are finding connection throughout the consultation or transformation session, you're going to find that the next time this topic comes up, later, 30 minutes later, that they're going to give you a different answer. You know, um, I whenever you ask anyone, hey, how's your nutrition? Oh, it's pretty good. What the heck does that mean? Odds are they might have started eating a cereal that said low fat or something like that, or less sugar, or something very vague in general, not making specific actual changes. And also, you want to focus on the outcome you're selling, not the price or the package. Gyms sell on large volume. They get hundreds of people in the door every day, and then a small percentage of those buy PT just because they're going to buy PT, not because there was a strong influence from a credible connector or salesperson. So, and also draw parallels to real life as often as possible. I'll talk about this a little bit later, but essentially, for example, I take the idea of progressive strength training, which I differentiate from weightlifting or lifting weights and like body pump classes and very general things like that, and I compare it to a course curriculum. So I always say to the moms, well, Mrs. Jones, you wouldn't send your kids to school in hopes that they could just pick the right classroom to go to every day, right? You'd have them on a structured curriculum, so they're going on a very specific path towards the end goal, which is to excel in that course and be successful and get high grades. Just like you wouldn't walk into my gym hoping, or a big box gym, hoping to take a couple classes here and there, dabbling around and not really going in one direction. You'd be wasting your time, wouldn't you? And that's kind of how I build the idea of progressive strength training. So some final notes before strategy below. Come from a place of connection, love, and empathy. Prospects can smell bullshit, and being cash or money focused stinks. It doesn't make you feel good because I've done it before. And also, if you do make the sale, odds are it's coming from a bad place. So manage your thoughts. This is a skill that will serve you not only in sales and communication and connection, but also in life. Don't build stories in your head as to what they're thinking. Have confidence in what you're doing. Know that remind yourself when you have that self-doubt come in when you're talking to them and you don't feel like they're getting it, just remind yourself or slow down, stop for a moment. You just pause what you're doing, think about someone that has benefited from what you're offering, and then go back into it. Shifting your thought process like that does make a difference. So when it comes to drawing parallels to real life, I gave you some examples. Well, where else have you been successful in your life? And then if they say, "Oh, my career," or well, they'll tell you some story, something really emotional, maybe something they're really proud of it, and say, "Great, well, here's what I do." So I say, that's awesome that you became an attorney as a single mom, and you've built this massive law practice, and you could probably see how that was just a matter of getting from point A to point B. There was a lot of things you had to do along the way, but it was just a process when it came down to it, right? This is exactly what that is like. Weight loss is a process, and you're never done. Just like you're not done practicing law or keeping up to date with, additional legal shifts and requirements and continuing education. It's a lifelong journey. Health and fitness is as well. The difference is the strategy we have in place, if it serves us to get from point A to point B and stay on track with point B, and also our attitudes and our thoughts, our mindset, right? Because if you went into law school with a very negative attitude, pre expecting it to be a stressful case or stressful situation, once you believe that that's going to be exactly how it plays out, that's exactly how most people treat weight loss. Is a painful process. We don't need to. We can enjoy it. And another one is, when else have you known what to do, where information was not the challenge, and that it was just the doing, or having a coach and support system, what other area of your life, they're going to tell you some other thing and say, perfect, that's exactly what weight loss is like. You can probably remember how hard it was before you became successful in XYZ area or whatever they tell you to get results and feel better, etc. Right? Weight loss is no different. Having a coach and a community of people that are like-minded is going to make all the difference in your success. So you can see how you're taking what they understand and what they don't understand, which is success and weight loss, and you're combining the two into one idea. Here's another one. I think you agree that there's someone out there who is a mom or a dad, a business owner just like you that's pressed for time, probably felt like they've tried everything yet effortlessly lose and maintain weight. It's frustrating, isn't it? Well, knowing that that's true and that it is possible, what's stopping you? Or knowing that you'd probably agree that you just need support, or knowing that you'd probably just agree that you need a support system, accountability system, right? So you drawing those parallels does make a massive difference. Here's another one. So when you're not connecting, so for example, I had this lady come in a few weeks ago, and she was putting her guard up completely. She wouldn't agree with me about anything. I would say, oh, the sky is blue, and she would say, and it was clearly blue, and she would say, the sky is, well, I've seen it bluer before, or there's a lot of clouds that makes it white, right? Not literally, but it was to that extent. She wouldn't agree with anything I said, which says she has her guard up. She doesn't know, like, and trust me. So I was going through the process, and she was disagreeing with me. I was matching and mirroring. She was shifting her body position away from it without even realizing it. And then, you want to basically use these when you found the pain and you need to dig a bit deeper, or they're just going this loop where they're repeating the same process in the stories over and over and over and over again, right? I just stop people and say, do you honestly, I usually say, I'll just straight up say these phrases, or I'll say, let me ask you an honest question, and then I'll say the phrase, because no one's going to lie if they say okay to an honest question. So I say, do you believe you're worth it? Or I'll say, as I mentioned earlier, are you honestly happy? And ask them, why aren't you happy? Another one, do you think you're going to fail again? And you say this one, they're going on and on, or it's a victim story or something like that, where you just need to break the pattern, cut the crap, and help them make a shift mentally, right? Because their head needs to be there. Here's the thing, or here's another question. Do you think you deserve to make a change? A lot of people say no, or they just don't know. Or here's another one. What's honestly stopping you? If they say, oh, well, I don't have time, I'm tired, or sure, we all have a story. I get it, but that's not going to serve you to focus on what you can't do because of whatever, right? So that's when you say, what's honestly stopping you? Honesty is a powerful word. If you use it, people will be honest with you. I say, if you don't make a change, are you letting yourself down or someone else too? Because a lot of times we do more for others than we do for ourselves. So suddenly the conversation changes to, oh, I don't really deserve this, so it's not that big a deal to me, to, well, you know what? I got grandkids on the way, and I don't want to let them down and be that grandmother, right? So another question is, are you honestly committed? Because if someone's not committed, they need to be upfront about it. And some people will say they're not, and that's fine. That's honestly, I've turned people away. But they will be honest with themselves about being committed, which is the biggest thing. So if you're feeling resistance, you need to open up and share your story. That's also very powerful. Make yourself vulnerable, because you'd be shocked as to how much you can connect with this. So we'll talk about this as we actually go through the presentation, but by opening up and sharing your story, it can completely change everything.